Are you or your partner experiencing a dip in your sexual desire, leaving you unsure of how to address this challenge in your long-term relationship? Hey there, I'm Dr. Moali, licensed psychologist and host of Sexology Podcast. Today, I want to share a story from one of our listeners which might resonate with some of you. So here's the story. When I got together with my now wife, the sex was fantastic. We were entirely compatible and had similar tastes. However, after a couple of years, that changed. Sex became routine and infrequent. Oral sex was almost non-existent, and resentment began to set in. The addition of children and the pressure that introduced was another nail in the coffin of our sex life. Years of neglect with seemingly no resolution in sight made me disconnected from my marriage. I withdrew and the romance dried up. This year, I had a short-lived affair. The affair ended when my wife found out and we decided to give our marriage another try. Now we are in counseling. Does this story sound familiar to you? Are you wondering if your relationship is loveless, sexless, or both? Fear not. In today's video, we're going to talk about what is the difference between loveless or sexless and loveless and sexless relationship. We're going to talk about how you can overcome the hurdles of not having sex in the relationship and how to tackle some of the common issues. When we're talking about sexless relationship, it's helpful to think about a few things. The underlying issue can be physical issues, psychological issues, personal issues. And it's also important to be able to kind of look at your relational pattern. What are some of the things that you're doing in your relationship today that makes the relationship worse? Maybe your sex life started to have some issues, but now because you're engaging in these unhelpful, destructive patterns, now you have additional relational problem. So let's talk about, it's important to recognize the difference between a loveless and sexless relationship. A loveless relationship is the one that affection and emotional connection is weakened or disappeared. On the other hand, the sexless relationship is the one that you might have a strong emotional bond. You might feel affectionate toward your partner, but you're not having sex. It's important to know that there are people that they identify as asexual. They can be happily in a relationship without having sex, but majority of people not having sex create a pressure in their relationship. So let's talk about some of the issues. The first one is physical issues. You might not having sex because you or your partner might experiencing physical issues such as diabetes, high blood pressure, hormonal imbalance, chronic pain. All sorts of issues can impact your drive and willingness to have sex. If you're suspecting that is the issue, my invitation for you is to go to your primary care physician and get tested. Number 2 is psychological issues. Psychological factors like stress, anxiety, depression, grief, all of these can impact your sexual desire. Having a healthy mindset and internal life can help you to feel more excited towards sex. So if that's an issue, go to your psychologist, counseling, get support. Number 3 is personal and behavioral issues. You or your partner might have poor health habits like poor sleep, maybe you're drinking excessively, you're smoking a lot, you're eating not unhealthy, and that impacts your desire to have sex. It is important to take an honest look at your lifestyle and see where is the problem. Also, I've noticed that there is 3 repeated patterns that people engage, which leads to deeper issues in their relationship. Number 1 is lack of communication. Maybe you're noticing there's an issue with your sex life, but you're not talking to your partner. Then you feel resentful and the overall relationship satisfaction can drop. Make sure to communicate openly with your partner to avoid this pitfall. If you feel uncomfortable, maybe you can talk about it with a sex therapist. Not addressing the emotional connection is really important. Even if you don't have sex, you don't want to neglect the emotional component of the relationship. Number 3 is really important. It's avoid conflict resolution. Unresolved conflict can really negatively impact your sex life. You might feel that you're just avoiding the problem, but every time that you have a negative experience and you're not talking about and stewing over that, that can really impact your relationship. So it's really helpful to acquire conflict resolution skills and work with your partner to build a stronger emotional foundation, paving a way for more sexual intimacy and desire. That's definitely a skill. You can learn that skill from a coach, from a therapist, or you can there are tons of good self-help books that can help you with cultivating this skill. The other thing that's really helpful to know that in long-term relationship, spontaneous desire is a luxury. Most people need to plan for their sexual encounters. So make sure you're intentional, talking to your partner about the ongoing date that you can put on the calendar, and you and your partner can engage in sexual exploration. Another really helpful thing is learn new knowledge and skills. You can attend to workshop, online classes. We have few on our Sexology Podcast website. You can learn new skills and also get some training about different sexual acts. Whenever you're learning something new with your partner, that can really energize the relationship. Another bonus part is that it will help you to change your routine. Because sometimes people might be bored with the routine they have in their sex life, and that can lead to feeling unmotivated to have sex. The other thing is thinking about, is the issue is low desire from you or your partner? If the low desire is issue, and then think about what can we do to improve our desire. Is it about our lifestyle choices that we talk about? Is it hormonal? Is it psychological? It's really helpful to work on that and create a plan around tackling that issue. Well, thank you so much for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. And remember, follow our channel to stay up to date on more amazing content. See you in the next video.